Hello, everyone. Today, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about our next project, which is creating a mosaic. So the first thing I want to do and you're going to do is you are going to look up and find whatever picture you want to work with this. It can be very simple. It can be a little more detailed. I want to go too detailed because you're going to be sitting on this project forever. So my suggestion for you is pick something that is relatively simple, but not too simple. So I picked a beach ball laying in sand. I downloaded the image and I uploaded it. Now, when you open your Google Drawings, your canvas, which is this thing that's in the back with the little checkered pattern, that's actually a transparent background. Your canvas may be too small or it may be too big, whatever it may be. But you can see I am clicking down here. If you were on your selection brush, you can come right down to this corner. And what I want you to do is I want you to resize your canvas so it is perfectly in line with your image. So do that first. You may have to reposition your image first to be in the top left-hand corner and then stretch this out so this way it matches. If you didn't notice, I've already started to actually do this project, and you can see how I have that large portion of this done already. As we talked about in class, mosaics are basically a set of geometric shapes. Generally in non-digital world, they're made up of tile, glass, stone, whatever it may be, different elements, and they are attached to a board or some kind of surface, and then mortar is generally put into the cracks. So what we're going to do for this is we are basically going to create geometric shapes in order to create this object. And then what we'll do is we'll put a nice white background behind everything and it'll be done. Be real nice and easy. Now, there's some people that may want to do a dark background. You may want to put a black in there or a dark gray or something like that. You are more than welcome to put the background as whatever color you want, but just know that usually you want to try to do something that's not going to distract the viewer from your project, and you're not going to want to lose any of your pieces either. You don't want to do the grout, quote unquote, which is the mortar that's in between all of the tile pieces, to be the same color as something that's already existing. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to show you how to create these. So we're going to stick with this polyline option. I like to zoom way in on all my projects because I find it to be incredibly easy. I'm going to actually do this little blue top portion next. You are going to know or notice that in the assignment, I actually give you a link for an extension, and that extension is called the Color Pick Eyedropper. And what it does is it allows us to find a specific color, and we're going to get back to that in just a moment. But just know that you're going to have to install that if you want specific colors. If you don't want to worry about installing this, it's not required. So just know that, okay? But this is nice because it allows me to click and then boom, I have the exact color code for my assignment. But anyway, so before I get to that, let's actually talk about creating the shapes. So when we're creating the shapes, what we're going to do is we're going to use the polyline. The reason why we use polyline rather than the actual shape button is because, well, these are rigid and they're exact and they're too hard to work with. Versus polyline, we can just draw the shapes to fit our needs. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. I always like to work super close. And then what I'm going to do is I am just going to click and create a bunch of triangles. I like working with triangles with mosaics. Usually mosaic shapes are done with triangles, could be with trapezoids, whatever it may be, but I'm sticking to mainly triangles. Occasionally, if I need to, I'll add a rectangle if the shape just doesn't work right. But basically, you can see I'm just coming in here and I am just adding in just little shapes just to make sure that I fill in this whole little surface. And I don't want to leave I don't want to leave too big of gaps. Like right there is a little big, but I think I can get away with that. But you want to try to stay consistent with the gaps that you're leaving, and also try to stay consistent with your shapes. Don't do too large of an area. Don't do too small. You may want to like make something smaller if it is something on like say like a curved surface, and you want to represent like a little bit of um, three-dimensional elements to it, like something sinking away. So the shapes are getting a little smaller. So see how I made these a little bit smaller than these, which are obviously a little bit larger. And that just kind of like allows us to add a little depth to our shape. Now, the color picker is something that's going to be important for this next step. So you can see I'm done all of this. What I'm going to do first, though, is I like to actually zoom out just a little bit, actually a decent amount. And what I'll do is I'll try to select a good amount of these all at one time. Now, I got most of them, but the problem is I got the background as well. If you hold shift and click, what that does is it releases that specific layer that you clicked on. So shift and click after you highlight a bunch of things, and you'll see that it'll release it. If for some reason you don't get all the shapes that you just created, like you can't grab them all, because let's face it, once I do this white area on my project, if I go to try to select them, I'm going to wind up selecting a lot of this yellow or the red or something like that. So I'll show you how to individually change these in just a moment. You can also set your colors up ahead of time, but for some reason, Google Drawings sometimes drops the colors off. So I usually wait till the end. Sorry, I'm zooming in the wrong direction. There we go. All right, so it looks like I may have them all selected. I'm not quite sure, but let's try to change their color. Now, you know what? I know I don't have them selected because there's nothing highlighted. So let's just go off of a few of these. It works the same way as releasing a selection as it does starting a selection. So if you hold shift as you click on these, basically it starts adding to your selection. So you can come in, as long as you remember which ones you pressed and which ones you didn't, you can select all these at one time. If for some reason I missed one, so like say I missed that one and I don't notice till later, you'll see it and we'll be able to correct it very easily. All right, so personally, I'm going to use the color picker, but if you choose not to, no worries, just click on this. You're going to pick a color that's going to be close to it. Obviously, that's way off, so I don't want that one. Maybe I want to do a little bit lighter. That still doesn't work. And this is why I like the color picker, because we can get the exact color of the original image. So obviously I'm missing, I'm sorry, obviously I'm still not getting that color. So personally, I like the color picker. You could go with this color, just stick with it, because no one will really know once the original image is gone. But let's just get the correct color as it is anyway. So once I press this, all I got to do is move my mouse over the original image, click on an area that I want to copy that color, and I'm going to copy this hex code. So I'm going to hit, you're going to hit Control C to copy there. You're going to hit the X, otherwise it won't let go. And then you're going to come up to the paint bucket, hit the custom color, and you're going to paste that in. So Control V. And that gives me the exact color. So if I hit OK, boom, you can see that it matches. Now, we also, as you may notice over here with my other shapes, also need to get rid of the outline. So we don't want that black outline. You may, but I don't want the black outline. So I'm going to drop it. So I'm going to change this to transparent. And you're going to see it's going to almost look like the shapes disappeared because the colors match. And that's why I like the color picker. I'll do that again in this area here where I'll create my shapes, and I'll use my color picker here as well, only because it looks like that blue that's there is a little bit different than the blue that's existing on that little round patch there. It almost looks like it's a shade different blue. So I'm actually going to color pick that independent and not choose the same exact blue. And then that could actually help with my perspective to ensure that it looks like this ball is going back in space. So I'm going to select all these. I'm going to hold shift as I click on them. It's going to get the whole thing. I am going to color pick. I'm going to copy that, exit out of it, go to the paint bucket, custom, paste it. I can definitely see it's a different color because the other one was over here. Hit OK. Remove the outline color. So hit the pencil, change it to transparent. And now I have that much done. So I'm going to zoom back out. Let me just move my ball out of the way so you can see all that I've done so far. So your object is to get everything, even background. Do not skip the background. You can get a little bit larger maybe for the background to show the difference in so your object, use smaller shapes versus the background, use a little bit larger of shape, and then we can see a discernible difference between the two. So this is the project. I have some examples I'll show in class as well. You can easily just go to Google Drawings, Mosaics, and like if you search that topic in Google, you'll find a ton of examples for you to take a look at. And that's it. So let me know if you have any questions. This is not designed to take up a ton of time for you. It's very methodical, creating little triangles, and then just adding the colors in afterwards. Try to make it easy on yourself. So don't pick something too hard, but don't pick something too easy. I'll see you in class.